Hi, welcome to another episode of the 7 Secrets to Next Level Freedom video series. I'm Debbie Lichter. It's so good to be here with you. And today we are on secret number 5. So secret number 5 is particularly relevant to you if you really want to be more authentically expressed, if you want to speak up, if you want to really own your truth and be confidently all of you, then this video and this training is for you, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And I find this topic is particularly important for women, for high achievers and for women. And if you're a high achieving woman, then like particularly it's for you. Because there's just something that I find when I talk to a lot of women about that people-pleasing side, that saying yes when we mean no, wanting others to like us, not wanting to disappoint. That comes up a lot. And that might come up for you in the work environment. That used to come up for me all the time in the work environment. That might come up for you with your family or in your romantic relationships. I know for me, it used to come up with men all the time. It came up in all those areas actually all the time, because I was like a classic people pleaser and a perfectionist. But what I would like to do right now is I want to just share with you a little bit deeper about what's actually happening inside of us when we are holding back and not speaking up, because there's a way that it's affecting us internally, and it's actually leading to other things that we're trying to get free from. And so let me just share with that. So what happens, imagine this. So imagine you have these different truth centers inside your body. So you have a truth center in your gut, you have a truth center in your heart, you have a truth center in your head. And so imagine now that at your gut level, you have this gut desire to put yourself out there, to help other people, to shine your light. You want to be confident, and you kind of have this image or this vision of how you'd like to be in the world. And then your heart's like, I want to connect, I want to belong, I want to have meaning. But then your head gets in there, and your head says, if you put yourself out there, you're going to get judged. People aren't going to get you. You're going to be misunderstood. No one's going to care. You're not going to have anything to say. You're not walking your talk. And somehow that head talk becomes so loud that it overrides our gut talk, and we end up following the head instead of following our gut instinct. And when that happens, it creates an incongruent experience inside of us, because we no longer have our head, heart, and gut all in harmony on the same page together. Now we have ourselves kind of spliced and working in these different directions. And what that does is it creates an internal experience of discomfort. So when I'm talking to folks a whole lot, and I used to experience this a lot for myself, is that's where the feeling of anxiety comes from. Because you kind of have this deeper feeling inside, and you have this deeper need inside, but then you're not doing it. You're kind of cutting that off because you're relying upon the fear story or the doubt story that's coming from your head. And it actually creates an internal experience of dis-ease and discomfort. And that dis-ease and discomfort will actually take us to more serious things. That's where we will start to get chronic anxiety, or we'll start to get into a lot of obsession about stuff, or that will lead us to addictions like food addiction, or just controlling or fixing ourselves or fixing others or obsessing about stuff. This is the pattern that I see so much going on. And then we have those things happen, and we feel even more guilt and shame around it. And so then we tend to bottle that up even more, have even more feeling that we're bottling up around it, not speaking up, then trying to put on a happy face because we don't want to be this big black hole, this melancholy presence around people, because we've got all this anxiety and all this doubt going on inside of ourselves. And so we try to just be positive because we think that that's the social thing to do. We think that that's the right thing to do. And all it does is create more and more discrepancy between our truth and how we're showing up. And that's where the inauthenticity happens. And that's where all that discomfort happens. That's where the incongruence happens. And that's where addictions can show up. So if you are someone who really wants to have more freedom, Maybe it's freedom around your relationship with food. Maybe it's freedom to just be able to feel comfortable feeling your feelings, comfortable expressing yourself, comfortable speaking up, just being authentically you, not needing to have all these layers, putting on a happy face, trying to just roll with it, not really putting yourself out there. Like, if you are someone who just really wants to move beyond all of that, then I want to share with you what to do instead. Because one of the things that I see a lot of folks doing, or a lot of folks saying, is I just need to have better boundaries. I've got weak boundaries with this person. I've got weak boundaries with that person, or this person has weak boundaries, and I just have better boundaries. And here's the thing about creating a boundary, is that a boundary is essentially creating something external to you to give you a feeling of safety inside. But the way that I see it is, if we can cultivate within you an experience of safety inside of yourself, then you don't have to create a boundary outside of you, because a boundary is going to block you from truly connecting with people at a more intimate level. Now, I'm not talking about, like that you need to make yourself totally porous to unsafe people out there in the world. That's not what we're talking about at all. But what I am speaking into is that there is a way to be so fully congruent with inside of yourself, to be so clear on your yes and your no, and to be so comfortable with speaking that yes and no up, that you create a field of congruence and integrity around you that doesn't allow other people to penetrate in. You're just able to hold that within yourself. And one of the ways that you're going to be able to do that, and this is the secret number 5 of your next level of freedom, is to voice your truth. See, when we try to speak our mind, we literally are doing that. We are speaking the thoughts that are coming from our mind. It's coming from a top down and out approach. But here's the thing, is that that's not connected to your true, authentic truth, to your nature, to what's coming through, what's bubbling up for you. And so when we voice, we literally voice up. The voicing comes all the way from our pelvis. It moves all the way up through our gut instinct, and it moves through our heart. It moves through all these layers of us, and then we speak up from a channel that is connected to the fullness of who we are. And oftentimes what we speak might be vulnerable. It might be scary. It might feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. And yet, that is the way, when you are able to voice authentically and voice your truth, it actually creates, even if in the moment it creates that little bit of nervousness, when you do it, it creates such a field of integrity and congruence and harmony with inside of yourself that discomfort and dis-ease diminishes. And so again, if you are wanting more freedom, then this is such a golden key. And I know that it's easy to just talk about. I was just speaking with a woman the other day who, she's done tons of inner work. She is a spiritual woman. She's successful in her work. She has so many tools. And she struggles with saying yes when she means no. She struggles with people pleasing. She struggles with wanting to get it right all the time, and how many of us still struggle with some of these things at one level? And so when we really brought her into, I took her through a very powerful process where she was able to get free and clear of the things that were weighing heavy on her, and was able to come into this place where she was able to voice up authentically. It was a game changer for her. And she, right away, she reached out to me, and she's like, oh my gosh, I already found myself speaking up, and it was so easy, and it was so intuitive, and the other person just was okay with it, and I didn't have to create this whole story. I was just able to say what I needed to say and not overly justify it, and it just felt so good. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Speaking truth. Here's the thing, speaking your truth and voicing it from a very deep, authentic place actually honors the people around you. So many times we hold back because we don't want to disappoint or make people mad, but actually it's dishonoring them when you are being inauthentic. And when you are being authentic, even if you're saying something that might in the moment disappoint them, you are honoring them. You are honoring the truth that is inside of them. It's like your soul and their soul are honoring each other. And it will always, always bring you to a greater level of connection and intimacy, even if in the moment it might not seem that way. So just remember, your truth, voicing your truth is an absolute gift. Your authentic expression is an absolute gift. And that's why at the Freedom Embodied Live event, we're gonna be actually doing some authenticity access practices so that you can start to break through in this way. Because I know that, just from like working with so many folks, when we don't trust ourselves and when we have stuff weighing heavy on our hearts, it really is very hard to voice authentically. So that's why we're going to be activating, how to activate deeper levels of inner trust, starting to move some of those things that are weighing heavy on you so that you can come to a place and access more authenticity. So again, if you have not joined us, if you have not gotten your ticket yet, you can absolutely do that. I will leave the link below. It's freedomembodied.live. And before we wrap up for today, I do want to leave you a tool just to support you right here, right now in accessing more authenticity so that you can get on that path of more freedom. So here's the tool. Focus on the process, not the outcome. So here's what I mean by that. When I talk to a lot of folks, they say, well, I'm going to speak my truth to that person. I'm going to speak my truth. And they're already thinking of what they want to say and how they want that other person to respond to them so that they feel okay. I will feel hurt. I need you to hear me out. I need to get this off my chest. Just notice anytime you're saying I need to get this off my chest, because that's just a sign that there's something weighing heavy on your chest. And now you're taking whatever's weighing heavy on your chest and you want to put it on somebody else's chest because you want to take it off of yours. So just notice when you're doing that. But when we focus on the outcome, it really robs us of the experience. It actually doesn't create more connection or intimacy. It actually creates more distance because we're like putting this out and we have an attachment to it. But when we focus on the process is coming to someone and saying, gosh, so, when you said this is what I noticed came up inside of me. This is what I did with it. It was really interesting. And I was hoping maybe you could just share with me more about what you meant, because I noticed that this is what I was doing with it inside. And do you see how when you bring it up in that way, it's not blaming the other person. It's actually inviting that person into a dialogue with you where both of you are on the same team together and you're both looking at a scenario and you're able to address it from that place, and that creates more connection and more bonding. And so focusing on the process, and we'll do more of this at the event, but when we focus on the process and not the outcome, it is such a powerful, powerful place to be and to voice your truth from. So I hope that was valuable for you today. If you really enjoyed this video, you think it could be valuable for somebody else, please do share it and definitely continue to check back. We've got the next secret to your next level of freedom coming next week, and I cannot wait to share that with you. Bye for now.